Hello and welcome to Tipsy VP episode 20th February 2020, a weekly show where we share tips and tricks on how to improve your social media. Tipsy VP is brought to you by Virtual Palace Marketing, the digital marketing agency that helps small businesses go digital. My name is Sean.
And I'm JK.
This week's weekly Tipsy, 8 steps to generate sales on website. Selling something isn't easy, even with all the technology and tools readily available to us today. Social media, websites, and other lead generation tools may grease the buyer's journey, but a buyer will still have to go through the same journey. Anyone telling you they can give you sales of a product nobody has ever heard of instantly is not telling you the full truth. If you are trying to gain leads and sales from a website and want to know how it's done, we are sharing the 8 steps to be done in that order.
And the first one, build your inbound team. A specialized inbound team is dedicated to planning and executing your marketing strategies. They include a marketing strategist, content copywriter, designer, web developer, and marketing coordinator. Starting from the very end, where you state what KPI you want to achieve, the team works backwards to build a roadmap to achieving it. This is usually done through the buyer's journey, where we convert potential customers from being strangers to your product to a customer, and then to a promoter.
So there is a lot of work that goes on to actually building a marketing strategy. And the people that involve here include the marketing strategist, content copywriter, designer, web developer, and marketing coordinator. And when they build a marketing strategy, they build in based on the buyer's journey that goes from, let's say, on the very left end, which is converting potential customers from being strangers, like they've never heard of you before, all the way to becoming a customer and then potentially becoming a promoter of your brand as well. Every customer needs to go through the same journey. We cannot throw a brand or a product that nobody has ever heard of, that doesn't solve any problem, that is not prevailing, and expect people to buy it.
True. It's like, 10 years ago, you just throw Grab and ask people to use Grab.
Exactly. Nobody would.
What is this?
Imagine if GrabPay came out 10 years ago. Nobody would use it. Nobody would want to use it.
People don't even understand why they need to use it.
Exactly. And then that was during a time when people didn't even want to buy things online because credit card scamming was such a big problem.
And the user behavior is still very much solid cash and checkbooks.
Yep.
So yeah.
Number 2, audit current marketing. It is important to know where we are in terms of marketing before we set out to build what we want. Auditing your current performance will also shed light on why certain things are not working as they should. Common questions to ask are: what is your current budget? Does it need to be increased and why? What marketing assets we currently have, websites, social media, email marketing, etc. What activities are we performing now? How are all of them performing and why? So the question here is, we need to have why are they performing? Why are they not performing? Why are we spending this much? Does it need to be increased? Why does the budget need to be increased? So when we ask the questions why instead of just identifying what works and what doesn't, it gives us more details on the reasons why they are working and not working.
So to say the data's inside, what does the number tells you?
What does the number tell you? It's not just about finding the numbers, but finding the meaning of the numbers.
Yeah, true. I think the algorithm can do it just easy for you. You need to understand the numbers really, really well.
That's true. Yep.
All right, the third one, defining marketing goals. Clear marketing goals make it easier to understand them. We start by asking questions like, why are you selling and what are you selling? What is your business trying to achieve? What does it want people to do? Using SMART, that SMART goal, to better define your goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So yeah, things you learn from college.
Yeah.
Just that you've forgotten.
These are pretty basic stuff, but it's what sets out, it's what gets it started, and here's one thing that you said, which is very compelling as well, which is the first question to ask, which is, why are you selling what you are selling? It's not just about what are you selling, but why are you selling it?
Correct.
Finding out the answer is like finding out your purpose of your company. Like, the purpose of life. Why was your company?
A story. People are caught or hooked into story.
Yes.
Why do you create this, what call it, let's say, 多月 is called what? pregnant woman postpartum service. Because last time I used to have a baby and then the baby died because of this kind of thing.
Or maybe I had the most painful postpartum because nobody knew what to do and nobody could give me advice on what to do.
Yeah, my grandma gave me the advice, and then my friend gave me another advice.
Yeah.
This kind of thing.
And I could not go out and find the ingredients to make the food that helps me heal.
And the baby keep taking my time away from my sleep
Yeah,
time.
yeah. These kinds of pains. So every single company, every single brand has a reason for being in existence. Identifying why you are here and why you are selling what you're selling is very important. Right, next one is defining your buyer personas and journey. Here we answer who are the people who we are trying to sell to. It is common for brands to say we know who their target audience is, but most of the times there are actually errors. I mean, we think we know our audience, but we may not know fully.
Yep.
It's better to run ads, testing hypotheses to get a metrics that proves it. For example, let's say our hypothesis is this. Demographics are male between ages 24 and 35. We run an advertisement that sparks the interest that will return metrics that will either prove or discredit that assumption. For example, if we are selling car parts or if we are selling car replacement or accessories and everything like that, we assume that they are males between 24 and 35. When we run an advertisement to show the interest, when the metrics come in, all of a sudden we see, hey, there is a huge amount of females that is involved in it as well. So because of that, we can think about, because it changes, then we know that there is a new buyer persona in our audience that we didn't know actually exists before this. Other personas also include person's role in the company or household, whether they are a decision maker or not, how many other decision makers are there, and how big a weight that person puts in the decision-making process. Their desired gains, what is it that they hope to achieve? The pains or problems that you are trying to help them solve. That is also very important, because sometimes we assume that we are trying to solve problem A, but actually there are people with problem B that also can be solved with our product as well. We don't know until we try it out, right?
True.
And what is their story? Everybody has a story and everybody has a point where they are getting from point A to point B, and using our product and service, it gets them to point B faster. Makes their life easier.
So basically, it's just to catch their pain point in life. Right?
It's all about good storytelling. It's all about understanding their buyer's journey and being part of their buyer's journey.
And what the buyer's journey include like?
So they include things like, how did they come across your brand, right? Where did it happen? What was the first time the person heard of your brand or seen your brand? How did they make comparisons between you and competitors? What are the criteria that come into play? We know that many criteria come into play when making a decision. For example, if you are buying two cars, a Toyota and a Honda, right? You do a pros and cons comparison. And what is it that makes you buy one brand over the other? Being two of them being almost equally identical in terms of quality and pricing, right? What makes you decide on either A or B? And how do they make their decisions? And most important also is, how do they buy? Where do they buy it? The website? Do they buy it from social media? What kind of platforms do they use to buy? So we need to be there, and we need to be there when they make the purchase decision and not ask them to be where we want them to be.
Okay, got it. All right, now the fifth one, build your marketing plan. Here is where your inbound team uses all the information they gathered to build a plan for your brand. They include everything from creating contents for awareness, conversions, and building landing pages that will capture their interest all the way down to sales. We have to be patient when starting out. Rushing through will only defer your potential buyers from your brand. Remember that social media is filled with noise today, and the only way to cut through is proper and honest branding.
So with all the information we have built from step 1 to step 4, this is the part where your entire inbound team will start to build the marketing plan. And they include content, they include conversions, and they include landing pages and sales points and everything like that. So this is where the campaign calendar is built.
Yep, true.
Number 6, build your landing page. While content is being posted on social media to generate buzz, your web developer will need to come up with a simple but compelling landing page to answer all looming questions they may have. It should also serve as the final point before making a purchase. Landing pages should flow by giving answers to top questions like what it is, why is it cool, and what problems they fix. Finally, it should have e-commerce checkouts for the purchase. Landing pages should also have a blog or resource section for further reading and information gathering.
So by that means another example would be Lazada's feedback section. Is that correct?
Perhaps.
Okay.
And also, let's say Lazada's, if we are in the page of Lazada, we look at a certain product and they also have, let's say, all the information they have. Like, it always starts with the pictures, all the pictures, maybe like 5 pictures, 10 pictures. And then it talks about, then below that is the name of the product and the key descriptions of the product. What colors do they have? What size do they have? What diameters? How does it look like? What is it used for?
What's the
weight? And then further down, you have the detailed product description. Like let's say, for example, if you're buying something with like a mobile device or something, it has all Bluetooth 4.0, how big is your battery? All these kind of things are all in there. And then it goes down to related products or you can buy now or something like that.
Got it. Okay.
Then it goes down to all the related products so that you can make a comparison between this and other products that you may also be interested in.
So yeah, you may also be interested in this product.
Yes.
Then see.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So treat the landing page like how Lazada builds each of the product page, and you kind of know, because when we look for products, we want questions answered. How many ports are there? What they use? What kind of size is the battery and everything like this?
And then is it like is the service fast enough or not? This kind of
Yes,
thing.
is the service fast enough? Does it come with customer service? All these kind of things. So the more questions we answer in the landing page, the easier it is for a person to make the decision to buy.
True. Right. Now, 7, publish the content. This includes blogs and vlogs, social media posts, premium content to generate leads, and more. All this content should be scheduled based on the level of warmth your brand has with the audience. Too salesy, too early, and you risk turning them off. Content should also be promoted via boost and ads. Since you already have the balls rolling, add more momentum with the paid ads. This is for Facebook and Instagram specifically, is it?
All kinds of it. Okay. Assuming that most people will use social media to do their content. So once the content goes out, the best thing to do is to put a little bit of money to boost your posts, run advertisements, keep the momentum rolling, and add more momentum into your campaign so that you get more bang for your buck. Like for us, for example, there are a few times when we see in case studies, some brands work on their first launch because they spend a lot of money advertising in the beginning.
Correct.
And if they do advertising, even if people do not buy, people actually know that you exist.
At least they remember the brand.
Yeah.
Okay, the awareness is set.
Yeah, like for example, I bought this pants, which is, what is it called? A Million Miles or something like that.
Okay, it's a new one.
Yeah, it's just some generic pants. And when I got my first batch, I met up with friends and they say, hey, this is that brand, right? Then I said, yeah. Oh, when did you buy it? Because I was waiting for my batch to come and it got delayed. And then it became a conversation piece. And someone comes in and say, hey, what is this about? Oh, this is these pants. And we talked to them about it, and they actually went to make a pre-order as well.
Okay.
So, and how we found out was because there were ads running on it before, like ads running to pre-order the pants. So we did the pre-order, so we were one of the few ones to get it. And then we were wearing it, we were telling people about it. People were asking us about it because
so
they were
you are the word of mouth now.
Yeah, so it creates these things, and we wouldn't have known that these pants exist if not for advertisement.
Yeah, and remarketing.
And they were running ads and content at the same time. So it was quite an aggressive thing. I don't say it's unusually aggressive, it's necessarily aggressive because most people hold on to this idea now that they want to be like Facebook. They want to be like Gmail, where they don't run a single advertisement and they want their product and service to be the hype of the century.
Well, they have already done their part.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that because for Facebook was answering a very, very crucial question and fixing a very crucial problem on social media. And Gmail was fixing a very crucial problem on emailing as well. So if your brand and product is not fixing a crucial problem that is like revolutionary, you need to run ads.
Yep, correct. Especially when now business kind of page is all losing its track.
Exactly. If it's
So-
losing its track, you can make the most hoo-ha you want, and if you don't open up the windows and let the outside people hear you,
You're screwed.
yeah.
You're just burning money.
Yeah, exactly. Last one, number 8, evaluate progress, report and test. Quite possibly the most important part of the entire flow is this one.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't know why something is working or not, we won't know how to improve. Every time an audience is responding to our content or ads, we are indirectly telling us that they're indirectly telling us that they're liking or disliking a content, right? Sometimes they tell you something, but their behavior is the one that is most honest. If they behave negatively towards a content, it is a sign that they don't like the content, which is also a sign that they don't like what is in that content, which is possibly the product.
Correct.
Knowing the trends can help us tweak the content and even the product itself. So it is very important to get all the metrics back, learn from it, figure out what can go wrong, what is right and what is wrong, and then go back to the start and rebuild version 2 again.
Yeah, correct. So it's sort of to say like audience, let's say you want to sell halal bakwa to Malay community, but then inside your content you have the word pork or babi.
Yes. Yeah.
What is it called? Not cultural sensitivity.
Yes, cultural sensitivity.
Yeah,
yes.
So you have to really
and possibly even change the word bakwa to something else,
like
right? Like
premium
beef jerky
float
or
meat, something like that.
like
flattened meat.
like beef jerky or chicken jerky or these kinds of words. Like for example, it was one of the case study where A&W they have root beers. So because the Muslims cannot drink beer, alcoholic beer,
So they got offended by the word beer.
not offended, but they had the impression that as long as the word beer is in root beer, they assume that
It has alcohol
it
content.
has alcohol content in it. So what they did was they actually changed the word from root beer to RB. And what happens is after a while and quite a lot of aggressive marketing, sales of root beer increased.
Okay.
So cultural sensitivity, it's these are the kind of things that matter. And you get these findings by running tests
Correct.
and proving hypotheses.
Feedback of the audience lah, so to say.
Yeah, feedback of audience. Of course, if you ask them directly, they will say, no, I don't see any problem. But their behavior is the one that proves
the action.
The action.
Whether your ad very nice, but you didn't see finish or you straight away swipe away or
Yeah, exactly.
So study all these things.
Right, so that's here's a roundup for this week's Weekly Tipsy. 8 steps to generate sales on website. Number 1, build your inbound team, which includes a marketing strategist, content copywriter, designer, web developer, and marketing coordinator. Number 2, audit your current marketing strategy to find out what works and what doesn't work and how to improve. Number 3, define marketing goals. Use SMART goals that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Once you have that, you define your buyers, persona and journey to understand who your buyers actually are in terms of demographics, psychographics, and how long they take to make a purchase and what journey they take. Then number 5, with all the information you have, build your marketing plan with your inbound team. Build a landing page that is simple and full of information. And then that should actually finish with a call to action or an e-commerce button to make the purchase. Number 7, publish the content, let it go out, not too salesy in the beginning, which should also be boosted and turned into advertisement so that the reach is increased because the momentum will get better. And number 8, get all the data back, evaluate, process, report, and test it. Figure out what goes wrong, what went wrong, what didn't go wrong, why it did or did not, and then you can build version 2, which is better than version 1.
All right.
All right, so that's all for Tipsy VP this week. Tipsy VP podcast is part of Social Media Weekly and is available on Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. Our full videos are available on YouTube, and we post bits and clips on Instagram and Facebook. This is Tipsy VP episode 28 February 2020. My name is Sean.
And I'm JK.
Au revoir.
Sayonara.